In 399 BC, a 70-year-old man drank a cup of poisonous hemlock, handed to him by his own government. The city-state of Athens charged him with corrupting the youth. His actual practice was simpler. He cornered young citizens in the public square and forced them to justify their core beliefs. This man was Socrates. He lived in ancient Athens, a society governed by deep-seated tradition and leaders who claimed absolute authority over what was true and moral. Socrates destabilized this hierarchy by demanding that these leaders prove their authority through logic rather than status. Critical thinking entered the world as a direct challenge to political power, carrying the weight of a capital offense. Though he is the central figure of Western philosophy, Socrates never wrote a single book. He left his mark entirely through live, unscripted conversations. He made a habit of seeking out the city's self-proclaimed experts, politicians, poets, and craftsmen, to test the depth of their knowledge.
Most people find it physically uncomfortable to have their core assumptions scrutinized. They resist as their certainty fractures under the weight of simple logic. This destruction of false certainty provides the necessary, often painful, starting point for any real human progress. His Socratic method was precise. He took concepts like justice, demanding airtight definitions. If defined as the strong's will, he asked, does justice vanish if the weak are treated fairly? Exposing these contradictions, he then applied this to happiness, guiding targets toward internal fulfillment. These cascading questions acted as a logical trap, cornering his opponents until they were forced to admit their own confusion. Through these public breakdowns, Socrates demonstrated that the individuals running the Athenian government had no coherent understanding of the values they claimed to uphold. The Socratic method functions as a diagnostic tool designed to expose the fragility of unquestioned beliefs. This practice led to his most famous paradoxical claim, "I know that I know nothing." This intellectual humility put him at odds with the massive egos of the Athenian elite, who believed they possessed an exhaustive understanding of the universe. To admit ignorance is to create the space required for new information. A mind that believes it already has the answers is like an overflowing cup, unable to hold anything new. Socrates taught that wisdom is measured by a person's awareness of their own intellectual limits. Terrified of his ability to turn the next generation against the status quo, the Athenian state sentenced Socrates to death. He remained consistent to the end. Rather than apologizing or fleeing the city, he chose to drink the hemlock, prioritizing his principles over his survival. While Socrates never wrote, his student Plato recorded these dialogues and founded the academy. This institution turned the practice of questioning into a formal, permanent method of study. Plato's student, Aristotle, took this further. He used the Socratic focus on definitions to build the first formal system of deductive reasoning, the process of reaching a certain conclusion based on proven facts. This lineage established the mechanics of modern inquiry. By stating a premise, testing it against observation, and discarding it if it fails to hold up to logic, the Greeks provided the protocol that now drives laboratory science and clinical psychology. The trial of Socrates proved that a society's growth depends on its willingness to tolerate and even encourage the questioning of its own foundations.